person is bleeding from the head, of course they need the help. They're not mentally, if you have a gash in your head and the paramedics or police saying, do you need my help? And they're sitting there saying no, you know something is wrong. Right. Something needs to be done.
Right. And unfortunately, when they say no and they deny medical attention, it's a wrap. You know, it's a wrap.
Right.
Yeah, it's a wrap. You know, and that's another clause that's a what they call an illegal thing. That's a writ that needs to be reversed. You know, that's a writ that needs to be reversed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Right. It's unfortunate, but they shouldn't leave
the
homeless out there like that.
Okay, yeah, I think OG man just pulled in.
I just wondering if y'all heard me. That's all. I'm cool in the
OG.
Big D go crazy on him, and everybody calling. Go ahead, y'all.
OG man.
Yeah, how you doing there? I think I get y'all one way or the other. Bobby know how to hook y'all up. We're gonna keep this going.
Yeah, this makes my heart happy. It really does.
What's up, OG? Long time no see, buddy.
Yes, ma'am. Glad to see you now. It took all of this to make us step our game up.
No, where my god babies? Let me see my god babies. I'm right here. Let me see.
Oh no, they're in the room playing. I had to run them up out of here. That's why I laying out of here.
Well, give
they in there messing up.
Give my queen a hug too, okay?
Yeah, they'll be in here by the time we get ready to wrap it up. I'll let them come on in and act a fool, you know.
Because I know man got a lot to say.
That's the problem. Can't keep him quiet right now.
Hey, Shanna, seen him perform?
No.
Oh what? Man, he got.
Oh,
wow. No, I haven't seen it. I saw a few pictures on Facebook when the baby was first born, but no, I haven't.
He's a natural.
Yeah. OG got a song on iTunes, and you know, we got a son on there. Yeah, it's a new day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got to start promoting that. Yeah.
We had to add that into the thing. So, what y'all been talking about so far? What I missed?
Oh, we just chopped it up. And let Lady Didi do her thing. Skid talk.
We just covered a little bit about the homeless situations, the conditions, the resources, the way some of the culture is with the way people respond to the resources and the lack of resources, not being where they should be when they should be there.
Well, I see it's pretty bad out there in Long Beach, huh?
Well, you know, me, I've been, staying isolated. I'm kind of used to this, you know. I've been isolated involuntarily a couple of times, and then voluntarily many times when I was serving in the service. So, you know, doing county time, state time, you get a little acclimated to this. It kind of make you relate to that. Well, I've done this before, but I wasn't able to go nowhere. But at this point, we still have that freedom where if you need to go out and do something, you're able to. But I've been staying isolated. It's nothing new to me because of some of my own personal conditions anyway with my injuries.
Yeah. What about over in your area, D? How they living over there?
Oh man, we're isolated. You know, I'm an essential worker, so I got to go out. But the church is locked down. We're closed to the public. My first day back was what I was mentioning earlier was Friday, and just walking through downtown, it looks like a third world country. Everything is just like nothing. It just seems like everything is at a standstill. You know, and our homeless people, or our homeless family, you know what I'm saying, is out there, man. And you know, I shared LA Can was feeding. You know, Pastor Q was feeding. You know, it's not people aren't coming down anymore. You know. Yeah. But what are our people in Skid Row supposed to do? You know.
Well, a lot is going on. You know, Ron, Bobby, and James and Andrew and a few others. They've been out in the streets. They already told them. They told them what the city was offering. Okay. They got hotels, motels, and all this kind of stuff available. You know, it was difficult to get in it once before, but it's going to be a little bit easier because they want them off the streets. You know what I mean? But they already said a lot of people down there say they're not leaving. Okay, and talking to certain people, they feel like this here. You know, I'm gonna die one way, I'll die this way. This is the attitude they taking. Okay, you know, they prepared. You know, they prepared to die out there. That ain't nothing new. You know, we've been through the typhoid, we've been with tuberculosis, we done went through the staph epidemic. You know, we went through 3 different epidemics in Skid Row. So anybody in their right mind thought this wasn't gonna hit Skid Row had to be crazy.
And you know, just before
there ain't a disease in the world ever skipped over Skid Row.
Right.
So whatever make you think it wasn't gonna hit there, you know, it's crazy. But you know, they're crazy anyway, the way they think down there. So it's all, they got 95 people already, you know, under strict quarantine in the URM. They had to take the family out of there that had it. Okay, so it's there. The police didn't already have it. So you think the people sleeping on the streets ain't got it? You got to be crazy. Right. Then the other thing is, I haven't been tested. You haven't been tested. How you know you ain't got it?
Right.
So that's the other question. You know, some people that just asymptomatic, even though we ain't showing no symptoms, we still might be carrying it. So we done quarantined ourselves for the last 2 weeks to make sure I didn't have some symptoms.
Right.
That's why we stayed in, to make sure that we wasn't carrying it to nobody. Okay. Now, go ahead.
And OG,
so right now,
just before you came on, we was talking about that mindset. You know, even though the city may be having these hotels, these small trailers, you have people that in their mindset, they want to live that, they don't want to lose their freedom of just being where they are. They're comfortable in that setting.
Yeah. Yep, that and the fact that they're not taking it real serious either. You know what I mean? You know,
well, there's a lot of people that's not taking it serious. Not only just the homeless people. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The people that's coming down there trying to feed people, they ain't taking it seriously. They coming down there want to feed you, bring you some clothes. They ain't even been tested. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Because at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, formulating a starting point. Somewhere down the line, it's got to be a starting point. And it's got to be, you know, with the testing. You know what I mean? And then after that, you know, the resources to basically contain or establish some type of foundation where they can get treatment. You know, something.
Well, see,
you know,
yeah. Well, that's the question too. See, first you got to get tested. The test costs $1,400, even though they're supposed to make them free. They're $1,400 to get a test. Then if you do get a test and you want treatment, that costs money too. Ain't nobody thought about that part. It ain't like, oh, I got corona and I'm gonna get some treatment. You gotta pay for treatment.
Yeah,
they ain't got no money.
They don't even have enough tests to keep up with the demand.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's a problem too.
Well, not for them, because they already, listen, they done threw us under the bus. We ain't supposed to live through this. They ain't finna give us nothing. They don't care if we live or die. That's a fact. That's the bottom line. Everybody talking about, oh, where the treatment at? Where the test at? They don't care if we live or die. They trying to show you. They can't tell you that in English, but they showing you that. We ain't got no test for you. We ain't got nothing for you. They telling you finna die.
Right. And then they're gonna start over with a new generation.
Well, you gotta look at it like this here. Put yourself in their position, the corporation position. They got to pay money out. They got to figure out, why should we pay you money? What do you do? What are you contributing to society? That's how they figure. Why should we spare your life? What do you do that makes you valuable?
Right.
Not a damn thing. You shitting on the street. You pissing on the street. You're walking around acting crazy. They're not gonna spend no money on you. And hold up. How long they been trying to get rid of the homeless?
A long time.
This is the best way. This is the best way to get rid of them.
Right.
Just leave them there and let them fend for themselves. You know, it's like you offer somebody something, he don't really take it. You ain't really worried about it. He don't want no housing. fine. Who you gonna blame? Who you gonna blame that he died on the street?
Right, and they're gonna look at it, he blamed himself.
Well, we have to blame America because all of these atrocities, all this misfortune out here, all these incidents that's happening to people personally in their life is put out here by America. You know, since the emancipation, we haven't gotten any of our reparations that's due. They flooded our communities in the 1980s with drugs to take us all out, and we haven't recovered from that yet. You know, when that cocaine epidemic hit, it turned a lot of people out. And now today you hear people saying, well, I want to turn up. Well, you can't turn up unless you get turned out.
Right.
Well, you know, you just said that they've been trying to kill us forever, so ain't nothing stopping. That's what you just tried to say. Cocaine, drugs, prostitution, they don't care what. They've been trying to kill us. They ain't stopped. Oh, I don't know why they keep thinking they're going to save us. Why we keep looking for the system to save us?
Hallelujah.
Listen, we making our own math. Hold up. We making our own math. You know what I mean?
I see.
So what the hell? I ain't waiting on nobody to give me no mask.
I'm okay.
You don't want to wear no mask. You don't want to have no gloves. Hold up. Like we try to tell them, give me 6 feet. We've been saying that for a long time.
Right.
They talking about you got to be 6 feet apart. We've been talking about give me 6 feet for 20 years. Give me 6 feet, too.
That's true.
That's true.
We've been doing the elbow thing for the longest for 2 years since they had a staff infection. We've been giving the elbow. They just came up with the elbow. I ain't thinking about these white folks. Not at all.
Hey, OG, if it wasn't 6 feet, we say I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole.
10-foot pole, even that working. So we gotta use some common sense. And you know, we already know, listen, there's gonna be some casualties in war. The man said it's a war. We already been in a war. In a war, people die. That's a fact.
Right.
And that's what's gonna happen.
Right.
There's gonna be
that's
some
what
people.
we're up under right now. We up under a war. You know, when I was in the service, we had different kind of drills. We had general quarters for when we're in battle. A man fall over the ship. We had a man overboard drill. We had a biological warfare drill, which is what we're in now. And during that biological warfare drill, everybody has to go inside the ship. And each ship is contained with a system like the water sprinkler system in your house if it catch a fire. And the whole ship get constantly washed down. And then you have your hazmat outfits that you put on, your mask, your goggles, your suit over what you wear in your uniform. So, you know, this is an attack. I've been doing some research on this coronavirus, and Bill Gates and his wife Melinda Gates, they fund this institute called the Peer Bright Institute. Google it up. PIRBRI.
Yeah, I know about Bill Gates and the whole thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Get rid of a lot of the population. They have a patent on the coronavirus vaccine. You can Google it up.
Trump does too.
Say that again.
I believe Trump has an investment in that too.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. These billionaires, you notice if you look at these world leaders and some of these people at a certain amount of financial status, they are not getting sick, and the ones that are recovering for some mysterious reason.
Ain't no mysterious reason. They getting served. They getting some vaccines, some kind of drugs and all that. You heard Trump say, I'm going to take the drug too. Or I don't need it, but I'm going to take it anyway. When he told me he wasn't going to wear no mask, he said, I'm going to take the drug though, but, you know, it may not work, but I'm going to take it anyway. You know what I mean? But Bill Gates came out, 5 years ago, or longer than that, and he told them about the coronavirus was going to come. He warned them, and he told them, he said, the enemy that y'all looking for, it ain't going to be no physical enemy. It's going to be a virus.
Yes, I heard it, yes.
He already warned him. Then when Trump took office, he told Trump face to face, wait for the virus. Now, the fool knew in January it was coming. He ain't do nothing. Right, all them ships he getting now, all that stuff, all them ventilators he getting, he could have did that in January or in December.
No, it was December. Trump knew about this in December and sat on it.
He knew about it.
He sat on it.
Somebody was just gonna go away.
I mean, keep it 100. He probably been knew about it way before December.
Might have. Well, I'm saying the information was out 5 years ago. We should have all knew about it 5 years ago. If we read the news.
That part.
If we keeping up with the news, we knew 5 years ago. You know, when the other one came through and swept through here and said there's going to be another one. After this one here, there's going to be another one in the fall.
That's true.
So shit, you know what I mean?
That's true. So,
but then like Jaime said that even with the coronavirus, black folks still shooting each other.
But look, but OG, let me ask a question. But as a community, as an individual, how can we prepare ourselves for this, for moving forward? How can we prepare ourselves?
Well, right now, you better make you some masks and get you a whole bunch of gloves and shit. Get you a hazmat suit.
I got gloves.
Okay, but on a serious note, because I'm saying that seriously, because how long we been asking for toilets to get on Skid Row?
A long time.
Okay, and that little hand washing stuff.
Right.
Now you see them putting it out, right?
Yes.
They got toilet on Skid Row. They putting out hand sanitation stuff on there, and they trying to contract with us right now to go to work Monday, tomorrow. Putting out 16 trash cans. I mean toilets. Okay. They want us to monitor them.
Okay.
Yeah, but this at a time when this disease is getting ready to climax in a couple of weeks. You gonna get ready to drop dead in a couple of weeks.
And let me piggyback on you, OG.
People get ready to drop dead, and they want us to be out there worrying about a toilet that we were asking for 20 years ago.
Let me piggyback on you for a second, OG, man.
Don, I'm calling from Detroit.
What do we do and where do we go from here? Well, one of the first rules in boxing, they'll tell you right before they ring the bell for the first round, they say protect yourself at all times.
Yeah, so right.
First, we have to protect ourselves at all times. Like OG man said, we have to protect our breathing. We have to protect our hands. Now, on the other side of that, we have to keep ourselves immunized. So we have to take the necessary vitamins, eat the necessary fruit, the necessary vegetables to keep our immune system up. Now, I have also read articles where this new 5G system is the cause and effect for this coronavirus. It started in Wuhan, China. Now, when they, I posted an article on my Facebook page by Dr. Abdul Alim Muhammad. He said when they launched this 5G system, that is what made this corona COVID-19 active, because the protein is half life and it's half non-living. And what he said, this 5G is a new radio frequency. When they mentioned the Spanish flu back in 1918, and it killed over 100 million people. I think it was about 65 million or something. But it was a lot of million people that died. What happened during that time around the world, a lot of radio frequency was just released because of the telegraph, the telephone, and the radar. Now with this, when phones first came out, you had the 1G, that big block phone everybody carried around. Then you had the 2G, the 3G, the 4G. Now this 5G with all the satellites in the air, and the 5G, the frequency is so high that it only travels like 1,000 feet. So on each block, we're gonna start seeing them launching this. And if we do our research, just Google up the cause and effect on 5G, and you'll see a lot of information with this radioactive frequency. And this new frequency kills our cells, and it causes this mucus in our lungs, which is the name of this COVID-19. So we need to do our research, and you'll also see, if you look that up, where they have the scientists that's with these high telecommunication companies denying it, because it's these telecommunication companies launching this new radioactive frequency. That's why you see high voltage lines way up in the air because they emit electromotive force. That's why they say if you use a microwave, don't stand next to it. That's why if you go get an x-ray at the hospital, you have to get behind a wall because of the radio.
Other question.
Well, okay, hold on. I got somebody got their hand raised.
Yeah, it's Don, Bobby.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, I'm calling from the Midwest. I'm here in Detroit. And
oh yeah.
how y'all
Detroit. Detroit. Go ahead.
No, I'm glad to be on this call because, you know, I got a chance to get another perspective. And one of the questions as I was listening to you guys is you know, areas where the homeless people are living is supposed to be so bad and, you know, so nasty and everything. But why are the virus focusing on the so-called healthy people? What the brother
let me just add to that. Go ahead.
Well, let me just say too, and what the brother's just saying about 5G, that's true. That's big business. So they don't have a problem killing off people because what they're doing is basically radiating you like you are in a microwave. And so that's why a lot of these people are getting sick because it's radiation. It's not a virus. This is something that, you know, people have been told it was a virus, but if it was a virus, it would spread throughout the whole community. And people have to start asking the simple and obvious questions, but then you have to have conversations with different people. If you just talk to the people in your circle, you're going to be ignorant. It's a big world out here, and people think different ways, live different ways, and so we have to continue having these conversations so that we can enlighten one another.
Let me turn that down. Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, but can I ask another question though? How can we recover financially? Because right now everything is shut down, the economy, you know, and we're gonna have to rebuild from that. So we as a Black people, how can we invest in ourselves and be financially stable? Because I talked to Bobby a couple of days ago, and I told him I went to a check cashing place and they wouldn't even let me cash a check.
What?
I couldn't even cash a check. I couldn't at my regular check cashing place. I had to go to the bank where the check came from.
Are you serious?
Now, a lot of people use direct deposit and everything else like that, but when I couldn't cash a check, that was a big concern for me.
And that's a good question. Now, you know, we can't spend our money frivolously like we used to. We have to hold on to our money, use it wisely as we need it. I got a letter from Kamala, email from Kamala Harris, and also from the mayor Garcia here in Long Beach. Now, they said that everybody's going to get that $1,200 check. Even if you're on Social Security, you're going to get that $1,200 check. So, you know, $1,200 won't go much for us because we don't even have nothing to add with that. What's that?
That's alcohol money right there.
But they're talking about how can we rebuild?
It's better than nothing.
How can we, you know, because when this is over with, you know, we're going to have to pay back what they didn't allow us to pay. Like right now, a lot of people can't pay their rent. The utilities are saying that they're not going to give out no shut-off notice. But still, that money is going to be accumulated up. And when everything this is done, how are we going to reinvest in ourselves to pay our utility bills once they say, okay, now you owe us this? You know what I'm saying? Now you owe us this for rent. You know, how are we going to be able to rebuild on ourselves?
Well, y'all got a lot of questions going on. let me first address the brother from Detroit thing about the nasty people. Okay, you don't want to miss that. Listen, we're gonna be finding out. Like I said, you know, we're gonna be going out there dealing with these toilets and everything. But we've been out of Skid Row for 20 years. Like I said, we went through the typhoid, you know, all kind of viruses. Okay, staph infection, all this. But one thing about the people down there, a lot of them are insulated. All that dirt and filth that be on their body, that stuff that insulated. Cause I've seen people down there ain't never caught a cold. Ain't never caught a cold.
That's true.
And be as nasty and funky as you can see. All gritty. You know what I mean? They my partners and everything, but yo, give me 6 feet, fool. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't know. But I do know they haven't tested people down there. And I do believe that virus is down there. Now, they could be very insulated because they say a lot of people get it, never show no symptoms, and get over it.
Right.
But I know for a fact that people on Skid Row, I know people sleep on the sidewalk for 10, 15 years, ain't never caught a cold.
That's true.
Yeah, so I don't know how this virus gonna hit, but I know some people gonna get it because they got 95 locked up right now. But on you on the rebuilding, I don't know. I started to post some stuff, you know, which I did because I'm a small businessman. You know, we got the silk screen business. It costs money. You got to pay storage costs every month. Okay, light bill, all that. You know what I mean? Buy shirts, all that. You know, the only thing that's saving us is because we just kept it grassroots. You know what I mean? You know, y'all are customers, so y'all ain't going away. Y'all just broke right now, though. You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all just broke right now. But unless you got something, you know what I mean? You know, like I say, that money gonna come. I would tell everybody try to hold on to their money though.
Right.
Don't act a fool with it.
$1,200.
What you gonna do with $100? Yeah.
I will add what Lady Dee was talking about.
Some of y'all got more bills than what y'all phone to, like Bobby. Bobby got about $5,000 a month worth of bills.
but now, but what it is,
yeah, just to charge up them TVs and
yeah.
But she said what we need to. She said what we need to do is invest in ourselves. How do we?
Yeah, we all
invest in us. Yeah.
I've been saying invest. D, how long I've been asking you to invest in the clothing line, Chris?
Yeah.
How long? How many years?
A lot of years.
What about the coloring books we got out? What about the inserts we done put out? Every year we put out more and more products trying to persuade my brothers and sisters to invest in us. You know what I'm saying?
And then
we ain't gonna beat you at your money.
If y'all want to invest in something.
Okay.
But see, that's the key, and that's what I'm working on, which I said with the out the box economics. I got a few things I'm working on now to present to people. And like I say, and I've been working with somebody trying to get them on the debit card.
Oh. One more thing before I forget. D.
Yeah.
Yeah, get your cash app, get you a cash app card, get you when a virtual bank account, and Bobby, get them cards. You don't need to be going no check, cash, and play no more.
All right.
Yeah.
Really don't.
Get your shit on the card. You ain't got to leave the house.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can order groceries, have it brought to you.
Okay.
And yeah, you know, like I said, we got to pimp ourselves out.
But I don't know about ordering groceries because I don't want nobody else touching my stuff. I don't want no more people touching my stuff.
What you mean by that? I know what you mean by that. I know what you mean. Yeah, you got to be cautious.
They're trying to rule out paper money.
Right.
So
that's the thing.
No, they already have ruled out paper money. It's already it's a done deal. But the Democrats shot it down.
See? Yeah.
We just like having our money in our hands and shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like to feel it all night. You see a drug dealer, they count their money about 35 times a day. 1 minute. You count that money.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen to the strip club? You can't make it rain.
No, you can still make it rain. Basically, you're gonna have a wallet. You're gonna have a wallet, and she's gonna be like, "Give me your wallet number."
So we got to scan. So we got to scan them now.
Right, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you got, Bobby, when you just touch it.
Yeah.
That little label you got when they just touch it.
Yeah, the scan shirt.
Yep. They were on their panties and stuff, you know what I mean? Being tattooed on their breast or something, you know what I mean? What? Every time you touch them, you gotta hit that little side.
Yeah. That's coming.
For you toe freaks, they're gonna put them on their toes one too.
And D, that was a great question. And Brother Chris, what you said is right on point. I was looking at an article where like OG Man said, with these big corporations, this is one of the movements to bring this one world government, this one world order together, and we're going into the electronic money, like the Bitcoin and stuff like that. So like you said, they want to do away with the cash.
Right. But see, isn't that a risk too? Isn't that a risk too?
Always.
No, it's not going to be a risk when everything is electronic. And far as what I'm hearing is when you get that vaccine, they want to shoot us with an RNA. The RNA is one cell from the DNA. Now that will identify who we are. So when you go to buy and sell, you will have that electronic money in your account. So when you swipe your hand or your card, you'll be able to buy and sell. So it's a lot of conspiracies behind this. It's a lot of greed, corruption, and these billionaires and these taking over. And like Brother OG Man said, they want to get rid of a lot of us who don't fit in that class. See, it's not just racism out here. It's a thing called classism. And if you're not in that financial status, you're not going to fit.
Well, that's why Corona was put out there for the classes of people to eliminate people that don't got no money. They don't care what color you are. It's all about money. And so it's called the central bank digital dollar. That's what it's called, the central bank digital dollar. And so the government said we're gonna hold off on that, and then eventually they're gonna phase that in shortly. So it's here.
Because a lot of us are old, you know what I mean? We're in another generation. They got to get people who could go for this stuff, you know, just go in there, just volunteer, walk in and get stepped on and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It's cool and hip.
And you know, the first step was when we got away from food stamps and went to the EBD card. So that's kind of example.
That was nice too. We fell in love with the DVD card, boy.
Straight up food stamps, man.
Oh, you want to hoard all them food stamps. I know y'all had stacks of them food stamps and had everybody food stamp half price. Oh, give me the whole book. That was some good days though, the food stamps, boy. That was like cash dollars, boy.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was ghetto dollars.
Y'all ain't right. Y'all are not right.
That was like the government cheese. That man, they got rid of government cheese, boy.
Government cheese. What you talking about?
I love that government cheese.
I make me a grilled cheese sandwich with that, and it was good.
Oh yeah, that made the best cheese sandwich you can make, boy. Shoot.
Hey, remember OG, we talking about that rotary phone.
You had
to stand up, but the cord was too short. Talk on the rotary.
Well, you can have about 5 or 6 extension cords on. They go across the street with that phone, shit. Go around the block with that phone, shit.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
If somebody had that physical $65 book of food stamps, I bet that physical book would auction off for a lot of money right now.
Probably would.
Yeah, you're right.
I bet you just had the cover, you can auction it off. Man, that's cold blooded. Got rid of the food stamp, man. And every time they took a deeper step, because you know you got to really read to be messing with that card. I had a long time trying to learn how to swipe it. I was swiping it the wrong way. You know, shoot. Don't lose your password. Oh. you know, you get to drink and stuff. You can't remember your password. That's why a lot of y'all got a lot of Facebook accounts and stuff, because y'all can't remember y'all, email account. I couldn't remember your password. I'll just open me up another one.
Oh boy.
But D.
Yes.
I did have you on the list. You know what I mean? I had got in touch with you and and the other sisters, man, me and Bobby, because this thing, I'm telling you, the city trying to pay us to do this monitoring. They knew we wasn't gonna clean up now to push no brooms. We told we done with that crap. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's why they hired them Alchemy people out there, you know.
Okay.
But we did get Andrew, you know, Anthony and all them some jobs. But my thing was the whole timing because the court has ordered them to put these porta potties out.
Okay.
You know, I haven't even followed the law. I mean, the legislation. Lynn brought the thing to me, so they've been ordered to have them out. You know, they had to have some out by the 8th. They got to have the rest of them out by the 15th of this month.
Okay.
Okay, so you know, LA Can Pete them been out there beating the sidewalks with the trash cans, you know,
right.
Disrespecting their hands. So you know, so they always be good. So they came to us. You know what I mean? We had already been in negotiation with the city since last year.
Okay.
You know, because we wanted to know how the hell they went and got some people from San Francisco, brought them down a skid row, and started paying them to clean up the streets. We've been doing it for over 10 years.
Right.
You know, we just pushing it in effect. At least I did. I had to do that. They didn't want me to do that. They told me don't do that, but I did it anyway because, you know, I already know the answer. And the reason why they did it because they can't control me. They need some people they can control.
Right.
They need some people they say, go jump, go jump.
Right.
You okay? Just like they took them and made them go clean up behind the police station.
Uh-huh.
Hell, let the police clean behind their own damn station.
Right.
We've been riding around Skid Row for 20 years. We've been cleaning up and they ain't been wanting to do shit.
Right.
Then they got the rat infested in their own place. All the stuff that they left on us came back at them.
Right.
They got the coronavirus up in there. They got rats up in there. Everything that they sicked on the people turned on them.
Right.
Like I said, me and Rob, we've been out there over 15 years cleaning the street. They ain't never caught a cold either.
I remember.
That's that for real. We done went typhoid, all that. We ain't never got sick.
Or lost a limb.
And that's by the grace of God. That's why all us believe in God. We know God.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
There's nobody that saved us from all that nasty stuff out there but God.
Right.
Amen, Pastor Emmanuel.
That is true.
That's a fact. I mean, we a testimony to that, Chris. You too. Been out there sweeping up in them damn streets and shit. Tracking through that damn garbage every damn day. I don't think Chris ever called Cole either.
Nope.
He didn't catch the cold till he got married. All that kind of stuff. You know what
I still got the brother from Detroit online.
And then I caught a headache at the same time.
Hey, do you still got that brother from Detroit online?
Hope so.
No, I think
it's online.
Because I do want to know what's going on in Detroit. It's going hard in Detroit.
That's the question I wanted to ask.
Yeah, he on, but I'm gonna hook up with him later on another call. I'll give y'all that number to get on the other call. It's gonna be at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I want y'all to get on with them, man. Yeah, because they be talking about some real stuff on there. And
well, Detroit, boy, I'm telling you, man, you better take account, man, at the numbers of people that died in Los Angeles. I don't know how they're up to 40,000 in terms of numbers of. 4,000 in terms of infected people, but people that died, man. And we talking about Los Angeles. So we talking about all in Compton. Why they not really advertising that on the local news?
No,
they're not. Show the channel 5, 7. They give you the numbers.
That's it.
That's all.
But it's the numbers in LA County. It's not the numbers in LA.
Yeah, in LA County. So that includes LA, the city of Los Angeles. Yeah. You don't know who that died. It's LA County. It could have been, you know, Watts, Inglewood, Compton.
Right. They're not breaking the numbers down like that.
They ain't gonna do that because that's gonna strike out. It's like, I forget how many people died out here in Lancaster. You know, the mayor out here already told everybody better get a mask on. Everybody.
Wow.
They said everywhere everybody better have a mask.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Well, I don't know in LA. I mean, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, everywhere in LA, you better have a mask.
Bringing that subject up, OG,
it's
man.
Everywhere.
We also noticed that they are not testing in our communities down in South Central of LA, where we need testing also along with the rest of the communities, you know.
Of course. But I told you, the test would cost him $1,400.
Well,
That's why I said that we only gonna test first responders. We gonna limit it to the first responders. That's how they was getting it playing around that. But they call. How you think the Lakers and all them movie stars was getting the test? You know what I mean? They were paying for those tests. Then if you do get tested, that involves treatment. Treatment costs money.
Right.
That's why they ain't trying to pull the homeless in. They know you got it, and you're gonna need treatment. And why should we invest in your life?
Right.
Right.
Give one good reason. Is you a doctor? Or you a nurse? Are you a fireman or something? Oh no, that was old Bill sleeping by the mission. Oh, you damn deal. We throwing you to the side. We throwing everybody under the bus.
That's how they doing it.
You better throw him under the bus. Because he might be one of them ungrateful ones too. You know, we have saved a lot of ungrateful ones. Why you save me? Be mad when you save them. Could you just let me die, dude? Oh, I ain't know. That be real.
All right, but what we're gonna do now, since we're gonna get toward the end, I'm gonna just let everybody get a chance to speak. They know who you are and what are you doing to cope through all of this. So whoever want to go first, go ahead and let me know. Oh, whoever hold your peace. No, who want to go?
I'm just having fun.
Well, me myself. I'm Lady Dee Dee Wilson. I work for Volunteers of America. I'm just trying to cope, just taking it one day at a time. I'm not trying to put a lot of stuff in my head. I just basically, when it feels right, I'm gonna move right. I try my hardest not to isolate my feelings because I'm dealing with the death of my children's father, and at the same time trying to maintain my home and keep my kids healthy, keep myself healthy. So I'm just basically I'm not trying to overconsume and not to panic. I'm just like, I reach out when necessary. People call me, I respond with honesty and sincerity, and I just got to deal with it face up. That's how I do it.
All right. I feel that. Right,
well, I'm Shanna Sterling. I'm not going to work anymore because I have lupus. So I'm one of those ones that's compromised because I had to go into people's homes to do ABA therapy. And with the city, we were first responders. We were getting ready to open up Ralph Parsons Preschool to be daycare for the first responders' children. So my doctor felt it was time for me to just get still. So that's what I'm doing now. How I'm coping with it is I'm digging a little bit more into my essential oil so I can share some knowledge with you guys on how to build your immune system up through essential oils and how to just use some of the vegetables and stuff that we can get our hands on to build your immune system up and to get yourself healthy. And so that's what I'm dealing with. And I just started making masks for the family. So once I get the pattern out, I'll give everybody a shout.
Oh, I like that though. Go on, girl.
That's cool. Who's next?
Coach Ron is me. I'm just out here, man, just staying busy. Right here in world famous Skid Row, hanging out, providing service at world famous Gladys Park, and keeping our beloved homeless people updated with what's coming straight out of the mayor's office. Also keeping them updated all the housing that's going to be available for them, the emergency shelter, the housing that's available for them, and also making sure food is being provided. We're not feeding actually inside the park. We're just going to be feeding out the alley, but by it being no street feeders, no churches, no ministries coming out within these last 3 to 4 weeks. It's been very desolate out there. It's creating a lot of fear, a lot of panic. If you're hungry, that leads to anger. That leads to animosity. And that leads to a little more, you're more high strung. Your temperature is up there. So we just want it to be at world famous Gladys Park a place of respite, a place of care, a place where they know they can come and they can receive some updated information, some high quality information as well as services. So, you know, just continuously receiving all donations. I know a lot of times people are like, you know, it's hard to give our beloved homeless people anything, but believe it or not, it's a good time to be charitable where everybody's hunkering down. We're pressing forward, we're pressing through. And I'm just encouraging everyone to continues to do that.
All right, amen, amen.
Yeah, I like that man there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that man there.
Yeah, he's a good
You
guy.
know what I mean? Yeah.
All right, who's next?
He's been with me a long time, you know what I mean? But he got a mind of his own. That's what I respect about him, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because I told him, I said, we bunkering down. Next guy that he was at Gladys Park. Okay, I like that. You know what I mean? Step forward. And that's why we decided to really work with the community, with the city, because we got people that's down there, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they have refused to leave. And that doesn't relieve us of our responsibility to them. You know, we still got to go down there and do what we got to do. Right. And we hoping that providing them with we know is a double-edged sword, like Bobby said. They know they're trying to sit us down there at the worst time in the world. You know what I mean? But we always said we were the greatest, right?
Thank you.
We've always said we are the greatest. So we going, you know what I mean? But we ain't be fool enough to walk around in no shorts. You know what I mean? So, but we're hoping that after this is over with, that those items will stay there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, they've already placed some porta potties out there right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those porta potties right now got people living in them.
Right.
Remember the old days, DD, down there?
Yeah, I remember.
They already commandeered those.
Yep.
Yeah, they already took there. So, and they're going to use that as a means to get rid of it.
Right.
Because it's not being accessible to the community.
Right.
If one person takes it over and starts living in it. Right. So that's a good enough, because this is court ordered. They want to show the court, nah, what you ordered ain't good.
Right.
So we want to step in right now and do what we always did, deal with the people in a way to let them know. Either you go, because it's up to them. Either you want it or you don't.
Right.
It's just that simple. Y'all can let Billy Joe sit in there all night long, but tomorrow they're going to pick it up.
Right.
Okay? That's all our job is to do. We the monitor. Our job is just to monitor.
Okay.
It's there. Make sure it's there.
Okay.
You know, so can't nobody never say, well, they, how long people have it. Why the city don't put out no toilets? Well, the city's going to show you why they don't put none out.
Right. Right.
Okay. So, but this is at a critical time, and hopefully after this is over, those that we deal with will still be there. I can't speak for the other ones.
Right.
You know, those that we're going to be monitoring, they'll still be there. You know what I mean? So that's why we going on that one there.
Okay.
Feel you on that one, all right.
But we had you on the list, though, lady. We needed you. Your name is still on the list in the mayor's office. But see, there's a catch to this here. Let me tell you the real catch. The time they want us to monitor these is at 7 o'clock in the evening to 5 in the morning.
Okay.
Think about that.
Hell?
Think about that.
That's peak time. That's peak time. That's peak time.
What the
hell? Thank you.
That's peak time.
Thank you. Thank you.
A lot of stuff happens between
Thank you.
hours.
Right.
See, now who else can do that but us?
Right.
Who else got boots on the ground that can do that but us? The average person too scared to even come down there that time of the night. We could moonwalk up and down the street that time of night, and there's nothing going to happen to 911 of us.
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
All right.
How many times you been out there 5 in the morning, Chris?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot of times.
Yeah. 12 o'clock too. How many times you was out there? 12 o'clock midnight, Chris?
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so this ain't nothing new. They just knew what nobody else could do the job.
Right.
Right.
Cause we sure didn't go after for the job.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna
I'm done with it.
Okay, I'm gonna let who's that? Mr. Clarence Allen. You ready to go next?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm Clarence Allen. First of all, let me thank you, Bobby Buck, for inviting me and for having me. I'm humbled by everyone that's on this show right here. I'm humbled by all the work that you volunteer out of the love of your heart and out of the love of your life that you do down there for us who are less fortunate out here that's living. You know, we all are God's children, so I'm really humbled. I don't use the word pride. I use the word humble. You know, the Bible tells us to be humble, so that's the word I use. And a word that I want to just mention that I'm going to ask everybody to eliminate from their vocabulary on this meeting is try. Eliminate that word out of your vocabulary because you're not trying, you are working on it. You are regulating. You are getting your service work done out there. When I was a kid, our parents didn't use that word. They say, well, dinner will be ready by 5. You call a mechanic. I'm working on it. You can come pick it up this evening. You know, so let's just be mindful of some of these words that this system has put into our social life that we use every day. And many of them keep us hindered from doing the things we should be doing, could be doing, and keep a lot of people stagnant from what they really should be doing in the life they should be living.
Yes, sir.
I have been down on Skid Row a couple of times. Thank you to OG Man for inviting me. Invite me again. I will come down again. I'm a book writer. I've written 2 books. One is Regulate the Manual. I see you, D. You have it. A couple of more people on this show have it. Even if it's not my book, during this time, get a book and read. It's the only exercise for the mind. That's why we have this mental illness. Mental illness is a business. It is one of the evil curses that came from the Willie Lynch letter. That's where the Department of Mental Health came from. One of the curses in that letter, if you read the Willie Lynch letter, say, get them to become mentally weak. How do you do that? Well, you dummy down. You give people a misguided education, and you give them bad habits like drugs, ignorance, violence, foolishness, and all the rest of the stuff that goes in between that. So I just appreciate everybody once again. Thank you, Bobby Buck, for having me. God is in charge of this. Keep God in forefront in the vest, in your vest pocket, right there, leading you all the way in your life. Everybody have an amazing day, amazing week.
Yes, sir.
Keep yourself protected. Stay healthy. Get you some emergency vitamin C. Get you some elderberry.
Turmeric water.
Yes, and get some elderberry. Research elderberry.
I love y'all, boy. Y'all love y'all people.
Let's stay healthy. I love everybody. Thank you.
All right, what's up with
Give yourself a hand. Give yourself a hand, y'all. Give everybody a hand, man.
No, we got Chris. You gotta get Chris.
Well, for y'all that don't know me, my name is Chris Sykes. I'm a minister, servant, whatever you want to call it. I'm always trying to help people. What I'm doing at this time, I'm thankful that God has allowed me to continue an income coming in without the government. So I'm blessed in that respect. In another respect too, I have a business where I provide cable service for $40 a month, 3,300 channels, 10,000 movies on demand.
Where you at?
For $40. All you have to do is call me. So,
well, give that, Bobby?
Yeah.
And this is real since people staying at home. This is a way that I can help y'all make money or help y'all watch TV yourself. And you know, my thing to say is this, is that God has appointed us for such a time as this. It's the time for us to rise up as a people. I know this virus is out there, but Jesus is greater than that virus.
Right.
And And our job is to let people know that God still loves them in the midst of going through this. It's because right now, suicides is going up and people doing all types of crazy stuff because they don't know where to turn to. Well, we know where to turn to, and our help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. And
Amen.
At this time that we have to stay, like y'all all said, stay healthy, stay prayed up, and know that God is with you no matter where you go, what you do. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Amen.
And I have somebody on the phone. I got somebody on the phone. Caller, are you there? Caller, you go ahead and speak now. You don't want to say nothing? I guess the caller don't want to say anything.
Technical difficulty, boy.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to say for myself, I'm going to go ahead and end it. I'm Bobby Buck, and what I've been trying to work on to help me through all this is relaxing. but also I went and got me a blender and an air fryer, and I've been working on that, and I got some I'm gonna get with Shanna on this stuff too, and Chris, we're gonna do a show talking about strictly health too. Like I need some more help.
Okay.
And somebody
I got you.
black seed oil and all this stuff. So I'm gonna do a show on that pretty soon. And then also, in the way I look at this, with this what's going on with this pandemic, to me, I got two words for it. To me, it's its own type of revolution and evolution.
Yep.
Both are happening.
Revolution and evolution.
Because it made everything escalate. Everybody knew one day we was gonna be doing all this, but it's escalated. And then like people look at everything like with the glass, with a half glass of water. Either it's half empty or half full.
You come right behind me.
So everybody is not meant to go to the next level. Like it's a revolution of change. Like you said, through change, people died through change. People have died through change. And like I say, it ain't what Tupac say. Kill ain't fair, but somebody got to do it.
Right.
Yeah. So I try to tell people, it's not about your emotions or your feelings. It's about reality. And that's what I say. So it's all about enlightening.
You know what?
Waking people up.
Yeah.
So
I thank you, Bobby Buck. We got a lot to talk about. All y'all.
And these my clappers.
Oh yeah. Always working easy. And Clarence, Alex, man, I know you getting my emails and inboxes, Clarence.
Yes, sir. Hold on, I got a dog fight.
You got a lot going on over there.
Yeah, man. I got this puppy, my little bitty dog. The puppy 5 times as big, so they go at it.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. But I'm gonna say I appreciate everybody coming in on this video, on this podcast, and just I'm gonna call it a Zoom check-in. And for y'all watching now or people who will see this video later, hey, get ready and come on in. Let's all break bread together. And we at the end.
All right.
And we out.
This is Tiny. It's Tiny.
All right. Keep up the good work, everybody. God bless.
I'll let you run, Crockett. Give me a call. I'm trying to find out how to get off. Still don't know how to work that.
Oh, yeah.
And then told me tell all y'all hello.
Yeah, tell Lynn.
I said hello.
She ain't
Tell Lynn we said hi.
Yeah, she said tell y'all hello. She was trying to get in the thing.
Oh, she ain't gonna peep in? I guess not.
He's somewhere right here.
Okay. Well,
I'm still telling her how to hang up. That's why I need her too. I can't even leave the meeting.
It says leave.
All right.
Then you be here forever. I know. I can hit this. Hit the button. Don't do nothing. I don't do nothing.
It says leave meeting.
Okay. Bye. Bye. How you leave?
All right. I'm gonna you up, Sean.
All right. All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.